The way we think of deceptive dining in terms of trickery, I find that to be a little bit more of a modern concept, and some of the things that have happened a little bit more recently, where science and technology have allowed us to make certain foods look like something they are not.
People are served food, presentation is first, smell second, and then taste is actually last. If it looks good, it's gonna make them hungrier. People take pictures of food because just the visual effect of food makes other people want to have it.
The deception of synthetic flavors is only possible because of our familiarity with the aromas in question or the expectations that we bring to what we're smelling or tasting.
The more we understand how something works, the more we can go around it and trick it into doing other things. So I want to think about that rather than a trickery of the diner, a trickery of the ingredient and a trickery of the food. What are some plays with texture and temperature that we can have? Can something that looks hot on the plate actually be cold or vice versa? Can something that looks solid on the plate actually become liquid once you put it in your mouth? So you have all of these plays with food that comes from a greater understanding of ingredients and of techniques associated with them.
People were villainizing fast food, making it unhealthy, but I wanted to prove that there are things that are gourmet that are just as unhealthy. It was only then that the slow food movement started really taking form. Little pockets of people trying to better the world with food education. The restrictions I have for myself are I'm not allowed to add anything. My constraints are to only buy from the fast food restaurant. The example that I did was very simple. We just took a tortilla and we ran it through a pasta cutter. I always feel that pasta is the biggest deception in dining because it's all made from the same stuff. It's just flour and water and maybe an egg. And then it's just like extruded and shaped into different things, and people think macaroni tastes different than linguine, but it's actually the same thing. I made fried chicken into sushi, something that looked like Korean bibimbap, just out of fast food breakfast items. I've taken the insides of a cream donut and made creme brulee out of it. I know someone's gonna ask me, how's it taste? The answer is it tastes the same. I didn't add anything, it's just a different shape.
MoFad is the Museum of Food and Drink. It is the first of its kind in the country and maybe even the world. One of the centerpieces of the exhibit was the smell synthesizer. And when you're a flavorist, what you're doing essentially is you're playing with chemical compounds, which is a big part of our experience of flavor. To basically experience the ways in which combinations of scents can produce unexpected perceptual results.
Another element that I think is important to touch on is the entire experience beyond the plate in terms of creating different environments where, for example, your dish might be brought to you with something smoking around it. So you're smelling cinnamon, or you're smelling wood fire, you're smelling charcoal, you're smelling pine, evoking a walk in the forest, a winter night, a warm night by the fire rather than being at a white tablecloth restaurant. So there is this whole play like that on our senses and this invitation to a different place that is also an important experiential element of deceptive dining.
Deception, in general, is when you think things are going to go one way and they go the other way.
For me, that inscribed itself in that tradition of deceptive dining, where we know, or we think, we don't know, we're not always sure if it is real or not, if we can eat it or not, is it edible, is it something that we'll have pleasure eating.
Deceptive dining is about maximalizing pleasure. It's about manipulating the reality of the sensual material world in order to create new experiences and new modes of appreciation.